Hi, it's me, LisaT. Lighten up your life with some positive energy. Reading The Language of Letting Go by Beattie. So, I'm reading March 27th. Afterburn. Ooh, afterburn. The feeling you get after I don't know what this is going to be about. Afterburn, the burnout maybe, when you've done too much, when you I don't know. Yeah, people pleasing, codependency, then we overdo it. It must be burnout. Let's see. How could I do it? How could I say it? Even though I meant it, I still feel ashamed, guilty, and afraid. How did I say that? How did I do that? I still saw something. Yeah, I'm feeling ashamed and guilty and afraid after I've done something or said something. Let's see. This is a common reaction to new, exciting recovery behaviors. Oh. Anything to do with owning our power and taking care of ourselves can trigger feelings of shame, guilt, and fear. I've talked about this before. When we set boundaries, it can feel really uncomfortable at first because we've never done it, and it feels like you're doing something wrong, like taking care of yourself, putting your needs ahead of someone else's. Like, oh God, when you've always put someone else's needs ahead of your own, to do it for yourself can feel really icky, and we got to stay strong in that it's very healthy to set boundaries, and when you do that, you help even maybe teach someone else to set boundaries too. So this is a common reaction to new and exciting recovery behaviors. Anything to do with owning our power and taking care of ourselves can trigger feelings of shame, guilt, and fear. We do not have to allow these feelings to control us. We got to recognize what we're feeling. We got to name what we're feeling. What am I feeling in this moment? Is it shame? Is it guilt? Is it fear? If it is, we got to learn to unravel it and get in front of it or get behind it. Either way, so that you're not in it, because these are not feelings that are going to propel you into a positive, joyful, accepting, loving life. And when we operate from those feelings, then we're not seeing the reality of situations. We see through a filter of fear. We see through a filter of shame, and then it causes us to distort the reality. So we do not have to allow these feelings to control us. These feelings of shame, guilt, and fear. They are backlash. They are afterburn. Let them burn out. Okay, so when we're setting boundaries, when we're doing something that's like, no, I got to take care of me today, remember that there's going to be an afterburn because you've done something fiery. So there's going to be a burn, and we got to just ride it out. Ride these things out without acting on them. Let them burn out. When we start confronting and attacking feelings and messages, we will experience some afterburn. So when we start unraveling these feelings and challenging these feelings. I don't like the word attack there, but challenging these feelings. Challenge what's coming up, what's underneath those feelings. What messages, what are you telling yourself underneath those feelings? What's the dialogue in your head? So when we do that, when we start doing this, we're going to experience some afterburn. The afterburn is what we allowed to control us all our life. In the past, we felt that afterburn and we're like, ooh, okay, you know what? No, I changed my mind. I will take care of you instead of me. I will go to that party even though I'm too tired to go. I will go to that place even though I know someone's going to be there that's going to make me uncomfortable. I will do this thing even though it's going to make me too tired, and then I won't be able to do my laundry and the other things I had to do today. When we're people pleasing and doing for others, taking care of someone else's needs, if we in the past we've said, oh, it feels uncomfortable, I feel fear, shame, and guilt, so I'm going to renege on what I just decided, and we've let those things, so we've let that afterburn, that fear, that shame, that guilt control us in the past. We're not going to do that anymore. Many of us grew up with shame-based messages that it wasn't okay to take care of ourselves, be honest, be direct, and own our power with people. Many of us grew up with messages that it wasn't okay to be who we were and resolve problems in relationships. So conflict came up in the family and people just brushed it under the rug or said I'm not going to feel that, or something's wrong with me if I'm angry, so I'm not going to be angry. I'm going to push that aside and I'm going to feel bad about it. Weird stuff happens in families growing up when there's not everyone's not super mentally healthy and done their work to solve their past. Resolve, I should not say solve, resolve their past. So a lot of us received messages that it wasn't okay to be who we were and resolve problems in relationships. We weren't taught how that if a problem comes up, a conflict, there's resolve that can come up, or there is resolve that can happen after a conflict comes up in your personal relationships. So many of us grew up with the message that we That what we want and need isn't okay. That your needs, you learn that your needs aren't okay. I've questioned my needs, like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't be like, I shouldn't need that, because I was taught that I was too much, or I got the message, not that I was taught, but the way I perceived it was messages that I was too much. Okay, so many of us grew up with the message that what we want and need isn't okay. Let it all burn off. We don't have to take afterburn so seriously. We don't let the afterburn convince us that we are wrong and don't have a right to take care of ourselves and set boundaries. Don't let that uncomfortable feeling after you set a boundary or take care of yourself, don't let that control you. Do we really have the right to take care of ourselves? Do we really have the right to set boundaries? Do we really have the right to be direct and say what we need to say? You bet we do. That's what it says there. Bet your ass we do. You bet we do. Here's your prayer. Today, I will let any afterburn which sets in after I practice a new recovery behavior burn off. The afterburn, again, is the shame, the guilt, the fear. We're going to just let that burn off, ride it out after we've set a new boundary. I will not take it so seriously. God, help me let go of my shame and needless fears about what will happen if I really start taking care for and loving myself. Today I will let go of any afterburn which sets in after I practice a new recovery behavior burn off. I will not take it so seriously. God, help me let go of my shame and needless fears about what will happen to me if I really start caring for and loving myself. Love yourself, care for yourself, and don't let anything stop you from doing that. Thanks for watching.